Hey, good morning, my dear friends. Back here in Southern California from a remarkable trip to Baja California, Mexico. Just got in, and here we go, setting up for the morning briefing. And oh my God, do we have a lot for you all. We've got several guys who are out on yellowfin tuna trips out of San Diego, including Chuck Zimmer, who was just unloading on board the Legend. We'll have all of their observations here in one moment. How far is that fish? Is it still biting? We've got all the details on that. And of course, we are watching our local Southern California bite also as I check water temperatures right now with my Tootsies here in just one moment when this wave rolls in here. There is a lot of squid starting to move into the Southern California coast. And I'm telling you, the predators are right behind it. Feels like 62 to me. Something like that. Pretty nice looking ocean, isn't it? It's beautiful. Catalina Island out there in the background. We'll go out and look at Tanner and Cortez Bank with you. We'll check surf fishing, all the local rockfish, and so much more. You know what time it is. I'll shut my mouth and get set up because the morning briefing is coming at you next.
Look at the anchovy. This is a big black ball of anchovy being pushed. Look at this. This is all anchovy. And they're being herded by these barracuda. This is so cool. Barracuda and black skipjack and Sierra mackerel all in here on this. And then a lot of spotted bay bass coming up because we're in really shallow water right now. Everybody's eating.
Good morning, my dear friends. Pretty steady rain down here in Ensenada, Baja California Norte, where we are getting ready to head back for home. But we have had a wonderful time here with Zeke Casas and the wonderful people of Ensenada. We got to spend time with Paulina and her lovely family and so many others, be here for Dia de los Muertos. And now we are headed to Rosarito Beach to pay our respects to Don Hugo Torres and his family. God bless. Have a great morning. It's a beautiful day here as the rain is falling in Ensenada, Baja California. Somebody is here visiting us. Oh my goodness, who's this dog? Is this the vecino's dog? Hey, oh my goodness, what a dog. Look at this dog. Oh my goodness. That's a good dog. Oh my goodness, what a good dog. Good dog. Oh, nice little visitor this morning. He's got a nice. And it was so great to see Paulina, my co-host in Mexico, and so many others at Botes Juanitos in beautiful Ensenada. What a great time it was. And a great Friedman Adventures family member, Joseph Welker, is here surf fishing this morning. He's going to catch a great big halibut. At least that's the plan. While I'm up editing the morning briefing, he's going to send it to me, and then I'm going to have it on the end of today's report. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. In either case, Joseph's enjoying a beautiful morning here in Surfside, California. Check out that sunrise. I don't know how you can beat that. It's really great to have Joseph here this morning. I'll get into the morning briefing with you all, and hopefully Joseph has some great luck here this morning. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. What a gorgeous sunrise it is this lovely Monday morning. I hope it finds you well, and I hope you're doing fantastic. I am just in from beautiful Mexico. I was down in Baja California, spent an extraordinary weekend near Ensenada with Zeke Casas. I highly recommend you give Zeke a call and stay there. You're going to love it. It's so close to town, but you feel like you're a million miles away from absolutely everywhere. Renewed my soul, and it was really a great stay. No question about that. Went down to Botes Juanitos and got to spend time with Paulina, my co-host in Mexico. Her mom, her aunt, Folka, a great captain, and the first lady sport fishing captain in Ensenada, Ihara. Man, that was a lot of fun. And of course, Louis Prieto was there. He was down there from It's For Reals Sport Fishing and so many other great people. It was fantastic. Coming home, we stopped in Rosarito Beach, and I paid my respects at the Rosarito Beach Hotel to my dear departed friend, Don Hugo Torres, owner of the Rosarito Beach Hotel, and played an integral part in tourism in Baja California. I've been working with Senor Torres for decades. Really, really missed him. Felt that his spirit was not there in the hotel physically, but in terms of his contributions to Baja, to the Rosarito Beach Hotel, and to travel in Mexico in general, I will never ever forget my dear friend. That is for sure. And of course, we were down there for Dia de los Muertos and so much more. We've got so much to talk about. I've already kind of teased it. Yellowfin tuna, we're going to get into that. We'll talk about squid moving into the Southern California coast. That is great stuff also. And of course, we've got all the very latest from the 1/2 and 3/4 day trips to the islands, to the offshore scene, and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Is that coffee good? Man, what a great weekend down there in Baja California. Highly recommend you stay with Zeke down there. We're going to put a trip together and go down there and hang out with him, do some fishing and so much more. I'll have that for you in the coming weeks. Of course, I want to have you hit that like button if you don't mind. Just pound on that like button. It means the world to us. Share these videos with a friend and also subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. That means a lot to us. If you tick that little bell, you'll be notified when there is new content. So make sure you do that. And of course, you can also catch us over there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Really great to be with you all. Thanks for joining us here on an absolutely pristine and gorgeous Southern California morning. The sun is rising. It's a beautiful ocean you see behind me there. Can that get any lovelier? Who knows what you're going to see behind me during the report. You might see some pods of dolphin playing around. Some people have even seen fish jumping out of the water. There's some incredible stuff going on back there behind me. All right, I was just in Ensenada, and that is 70 miles below the border. And man, I'll tell you, the rock fishing down there is fantastic. Loads of rockfish coming in on a boat called the Little Horse. And Ihara came in from her operation, the first lady sport fishing captain in Ensenada. She had copious amounts of rockfish, did really well on some nice big sheephead whitefish and other bottom grabbers to provide excellent table fare for the people who went out with her. So it's been really good rock fishing out of Ensenada. Now, if you run down to Punta Calinet, which is 120 miles below the border, so Ensenada 70, and then another 50 will get you down to Calinet. 2.5 hour run for the Pongueros down there. There are still some bluefin tuna down there in that neck of the woods, but you know how bluefin tuna are. Sometimes they bite, and sometimes they drive you absolutely crazy. There's been some hits on it from time to time. It's nice grade, 30 to 50-pound stuff with some even bigger than that. It will bite on the poppers and also kind of like those shiny jigs, like a Daiwa or Colt Sniper, something like that. There's been some fish taken on that troll Mad Max, also pretty darn effective. So there is the possibility of bluefin, but most of the guys down there are fishing rockfish. I saw my dear friend Sergio from Sergio Sport Fishing. Also spent a few moments chatting with him. It was good to see him, and everybody out of there has been doing really, really well. So excellent stuff going on. Let's talk long-range fishing. As the sun is rising, it's gorgeous down here. Long-range fishing's been really excellent, and it is continuing that way. The weather was up for the boys on the Independence yesterday, but they still managed to have some really great fishing, and I've already talked to them. They have much nicer weather here this morning, so that is good to see. Yellowfin tuna bite down there has been absolutely fantastic. Mostly 50 to 80 pound fish, some smaller and some bigger than that, and also some really good yellowtail fishing, but they concentrated their efforts on the wahoo, and that's what they're after here this morning. The who. They're trying to catch more and more skins down there this morning. Caught quite a few yesterday and hoping to capitalize on even more of that here this morning. We'll be watching that closely for you all, and I'll remind you that next April, we've got a 5-day trip on the Independence, and you can join us. There it is, right there. Give Paulina a call this morning. Give her a call and chat with her about the details of the trip. And if you want, sign up. I'll be there to shoot a great video on that trip. Royal Polaris yesterday, they had some very good fishing down there on yellowfin tuna and yellowtail. Nice fishing for all the long-range boys right now. And this has been a constant theme for many months now. It has been one heck of a summer and now fall bite for these boats that fish 8 to 10 day trips out of San Diego, some even longer than that. And down on the lower banks, we're starting to see some of that 200 plus pound yellowfin tuna also. So a little bit further down the Baja Peninsula, 500 plus miles down the Baja Peninsula on these great San Diego long range trips. It has been absolutely phenomenal. Tim Marquez, the tax man, he's waiting for you. If you have tax issues, he's going to help you unravel them. In fact, when I was down in Ensenada, Louis Prieto from It's For Real Sport Fishing said, hey, can you take this up to Tim Marquez? He's handling my taxes for me. And I said, absolutely, no problem at all, Louis. And I said, how did you hook up with Tim Marquez? And he said, advertising on your channel, you dope. How do you think I hooked up with him? And he said he's a great guy. So Tim Marquez, yeah, I'm going to go see him and deliver those documents for Louis in just a little bit. Louis, I didn't lose him, no matter what you thought might happen. I've got him. And also, if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, another great guy is our friend John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. He will treat you like you deserve to be treated and take really good care of you. John, thanks for all you do. All right, so really good long-range fishing. Time to get into the San Diego situation with regard to yellowfin tuna, because man, it has been an extraordinary few weeks here for boats running 2-3 day trips, some guys day and a half, but that's changing now. That fish is starting to slide further down the peninsula. I'll have more on that as we go through this report, but really extraordinary fishing, and it has been fantastic. Ryan McAllister was out on a 2-day trip on board the Condor, and Ryan said, what a crew. They worked their fingers to the bone to make sure we had a great trip. Some of his observations: excellent bait. He fished 50 to 60 pound fluorocarbon fly lining a bait. He had 3 fish, all of them beautiful, big grade fish, like up over 50 pounds. And also he hooked another fish and handed it off. Way to go, Ryan. Sharing with others is a great thing. He said he always belly hooks his bait and has great success doing that, fishing circle hooks. And he said, man, 2-speed reels are an absolute must, because there was a lot of casualties. You'll get bit on the 40 pound down there, but man, I'll tell you, a lot of fish are lost. Get them on as heavy line as is possible. That will make all the difference in the world. The Aztec, 73 yellowfin tuna down there in that neck of the woods, 30 to 85 pound range. But they said that the vast majority of the fish were in the 60 to 75 pound class. Wow. All I can say is that is a magnificent grade of fish. Marcus Fain, a dear Friedman Adventures family member, was also out, and he was on board the Condor, reporting that the weather was up, and they ran a long way to get down. Their water temperatures had come down, as we surmised they would after the windy, rough weather, but those fish hung in there and continued to bite. Great crew. He said same thing about the Condor crew. He had his personal best, and his buddy who was fishing with him also had his PB. His buddy's fishing around 75 pounds, and Marcus Fain with a yellowfin tuna just shy of 100 pounds. So there's a couple of observations for you. And how about one more, Chuck? Zimmer from the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Great guy. Love Chuck. Can't wait to see him. I'm sure he's got a nice yellowfin tuna fillet for me or two here this morning. Chuck doesn't even eat fish, but he loves fishing. So all of the fish he gets, man, a lot of that he hands out to people. He reported the weather was up, and he shot some video just to prove it. So they did have some bumpy weather heading down there on the Legend. Chuck was on board the Legend. He said they ended up with 46 yellowfin tuna, but they ran 183 miles, kind of off El Rosario if you're looking for a place on the Baja coast to figure out where they were. They ran all the way down there. It was quite a run to get down there. Chuck said 60 to 80 pound fluorocarbon really was working good. He fished 50 pound and did quite well. A lot of popper fish also on this trip. And as you can see, it looks like Chuck had a really outstanding trip. So there you have it, man. I mean, we had 3 observations for you, all of them good, but that fish, as you can hear, it was once at 150 miles. It had moved down to 160 miles, and Chuck on the Legend was down there to buck 83, starting to slide out of range. We'll see where it all goes here in the coming days, but that is some pretty good reporting, if you ask me. Really appreciate the boys getting that info into us. Time to talk about islands down there at the Coronado Islands. We are seeing yellowtail. Hopefully they're going to bite. Tough to get enough people to go and fish that zone right now during the week. It's mostly a weekend kind of thing, and there has been times where we catch no yellowtail at all. So what I'm trying to say is we're still seeing them, but they're not biting that well at all. Hopefully that bite is going to get going again here very, very soon, because we do see quite a bit of yellowtail. When they were biting, it was a fly line bait bite at times. Sometimes it was a yo-yo iron bite also, where you sink your jig deep and wind on it fast. Other times it was a surface iron bite, where you're moving your iron or lure across the surface of the ocean. And sometimes on bait, it was a dropper loop kind of bite. Heavy sinker down on the bottom, catch a yellowtail. Sometimes you'll catch a red, sometimes you'll catch a rockfish. You just never know. It's pretty incredible stuff. San Clemente Island. If you look out there, you can see Catalina Island silhouetted out there. Behind that, about 60 miles from most LA Orange County landings at San Clemente Island, the Fury was there recently, and there's an influx of squid starting to move in there. And this is all part of the food chain. You know, high school biology, the big ones come out to eat the little ones. The little ones are the squid, and the big ones are yellowtail, white sea bass, halibut, and other predators. The Fury found some of those fish, 9 yellowtail, 2 white sea bass on their last trip out there in that neck of the woods. That is good stuff. And I think we are building to something big here for next spring, or perhaps even this winter, with all the squid that is starting to move in. I have more on that in a moment, so don't you dare go anywhere. Catalina Island, there's still some bonita there. The Pursuit recently had a yellowtail. There's some surface action there, but predominantly it's the big old cod that are biting out there. And I say big because we are mandated by regulation to fish the deeper water here in SoCal right now, 300 feet or deeper. You need a 16-ounce torpedo sinker at least to fish in that deep water, and you want to have a reel that can handle that kind of depth. Spectra helps you to do that, the type of fishing line that allows you to put a lot of capacity on your reel. So that is something to keep in mind. But we have seen boats doing really well out there. One of them, the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, has had several lings and big rockfish. Been really, really good. And you can get on the El Patron by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Man, I'll tell you, the El Patron's fast, speedy, comfortable, a lot of fun to fish on, and they've been really putting the wood to those big rockfish. Pursuit, 22nd Street Landing, as I mentioned, has had some surface fish, and then they'll turn their attention to the rockfish. Moving you up to San Nicolas Island, big sheephead and whitefish, big old rockfish there. And throughout the Channel Islands, we continue to see some surface activity and more squid moving in up there. Look out, they're going to have a sea bass explosion. We've had occasional hits, like one every couple of weeks, maybe, something like that. On the Endeavor out of Ventura Sport Fishing, we'll see some halibut also smattered around there. Also some bass fishing. You know, it's still hanging in there, but water temps are coming down as we move further into the fall and ultimately into the winter. And that means we're going to be relying, as we are right now, on the Rockfish, providing great table fare. The Island Spirit up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing provides such great opportunities. It's a half-day boat, but she leaves at 8 a.m. and comes back at 4 p.m. Hardly a half-day normal schedule. That's a long trip, and it gives you the opportunity to really catch some great fish. On Fridays, they go deep water, really, really deep. This Friday, they're going to go deep water. And then on Saturday, they're fishing, you know, sometimes sheephead and whitefish, and other times the deep water. And then Sundays, it's kids fish free out of Ventura Sport Fishing on the Island Spirit with my dear friend, Captain Daniel Hadaway. You can get on board by giving Saul a call up in the office. Saul, good morning to you. Give him a call at 805-676-3474 or go to VenturaSportFishing.com. Santa Barbara, good rockfish up there at Verges in Morro Bay and Avila Beach. We see some really good rock fishing. San Francisco's got big lings up there and a lot of rockfish also biting up in that neck of the woods. So there you have it, some really great stuff going on. Half and three-quarter day. Let's talk that for a moment. The Dolphin down there out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. John Ho. John, you're the best, man. Way to go out there with so many dear friends and having so much fun on the Dolphin and catching copious amounts of rockfish that John says will last him a long time in terms of his dinner, providing excellent table fare. I see John cooking up some feast sometimes, and it really, really looks good. Also, as we take a look in general at the bite for the half and three-quarter day guys, it's pretty much what the Dolphins are. Rockfish has been the name of the game. Every once in a while, get a sand bass like Nick Ramirez did on board the Monte Carlo. In fact, Nick Ramirez and Dan Lightfoot got together, went out on the spacious, beautiful Monte Carlo. Nick shot some of that video that you're seeing of the boat right now. Look at that weather, just gorgeous, beautiful time to be out on the water at a 22nd Street landing. And they had some rockfish and other stuff to go along with it. A lot of focus on rockfish from San Diego all the way up to Ventura. So nothing wrong with that, my friends. Hopefully that's going to continue. All right, Robert Graber, another Friedman Adventures family member extraordinario. Robert, good morning to you. Robert says he was driving up Pacific Coast Highway, looked out around Malibu, Broad Beach, and just saw squid boats lined up on the coast all the way up to the Ventura County line. There's a lot of squid starting to move in there, and if you see all those lights, that's what you're looking at in case you happen to be somebody not in sport fishing or not familiar with what is going on. That is what all those lights are all about. It's squid. And as we mentioned a moment ago, that squid is going to attract predators. I like what we're seeing. We're seeing squid here at Clemente. We're starting to see a little squid at Catalina Island. Some of it here on the coast also. When we were driving up yesterday, up the Baja coast, I looked out off of Sasepuedes and I saw a ton of birds sitting in the water there, and that tells me there's some squid there. So we are starting to see an influx of squid, and that is all really good stuff. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come because those predators won't be far behind it. So some good half and three-quarter day rock fishing going on, but that squid could mean some great things in our future. We'll be watching that for you very, very closely. All right, in the Southern California surf, I got to look down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait you'll need. They've got all the gear you'll need, not only for surf fishing, as they are Southern California surf fishing headquarters, but they've got stuff for marlin fishing and bluefin. They've got it all for you. And they've got a weekly tournament where they give away, a monthly tournament where they give away a free custom surf fishing rod. All you have to do is walk in there, buy their ruler, and you'll use that ruler to take a photo of your catch and upload it to their Instagram page. And man, I gotta tell you, really fantastic giveaway. That rod is so beautiful, and they give one away every month. You have no more costs associated with that. All you have to do is buy the rod and you're in. And man, as these water temperatures come down, we're going to catch more and more barred perch. We're starting to see some of that down around Huntington Beach. There's still some sand crabs around the Huntington Beach pier that you can pick up, so nothing wrong with that. Also, we continue to see some barred perch in here. This is Surfside. Also, some yellowfin croaker up there around Seal Beach. We have been seeing some pretty good evidence of life in that neck of the woods in terms of some halibut on the Lucky Craft lures or the small chrome type lures like a crocodile up in the Santa Monica Bay. Water temps coming down, less corvina, more barred perch. We saw some really good barred perch fishing while we were in Mexico yesterday. Really good down there around San Quintin, Playa Socorro, and also up there around Playa Bebe and Rosarito, and even Playas Tijuana. We saw some bar perch. Just to let you know that the page is turning, the water temps are coming down. We're starting to see less of the warmer water species like corvina and other species, and starting to see more and more barred perch. But we will see some good halibut fishing in the wintertime at times. That is all part of the game also. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you other than it was a really great trip down to Baja California. Got to spend time with some people that are really wonderful people. Also, did I mention I had lunch at Tony Lozano's place, La Huerita. La Huerita in Rosarito. If you want a great seafood lunch or dinner, if you want a good steak, great breakfast also, La Huerita in beautiful Rosarito Beach, Baja California, Mexico. You're going to love it. Man, I walked out of there so stuffed. I had a New York steak and shrimp, and it was to die for. Perfect on my carnivore diet. And don't forget Zeke Casas down there. You're going to want to check him out. He also is a really fantastic guy. You're going to enjoy him. All right, lots to cover with you all. Don't forget, go back and watch the video I did with a really dear friend of mine, Claudia Fernandez. I might even tag it on right after the morning briefing. I'll see if I'm able to do that. If not, I might do that tomorrow. But Claudia is a dear friend of mine, and her niece needs heart surgery, 2 years old, Down syndrome, beautiful angel, needs heart surgery. There's a GoFundMe page where you can make a donation and help that become a reality. It's in pesos. So I just want to explain to you that some people have gone on there and wanted to donate $20, and then it comes back and says, hey, the minimum is 100. And I know it's a little confusing, but it's in pesos. So when you donate 100 pesos, you're donating $5. And so 400, approximately 400 would be $20. So it's in pesos. I know it's a little confusing, but it's going into Natalia's father's bank account in pesos. So that's how they had to do it. And once again, if you go back and watch that video, it should touch your heart, will touch your heart, because I know how great all of you are. All right, my friends, have a great morning. Thanks for being here. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.